This is the final video today, as it's been an action-packed day of recording. But we got more recording set for tomorrow because the predictions for AEW Full Gear will be tomorrow night at some point, worked in with the news videos, sort of like the Rampage preview was today. But we got the final go-home show of AEW programming ahead of Full Gear tomorrow, and it is a chock-full event because the World Title Eliminator Tournament first round comes to a close with the match between Ricky Starks and Lance Archer finally taking place. Because as I noted in the earlier news video, Ricky Starks actually was apparently injured, and that is why they put off the match for a couple of weeks. They wanted Ricky Starks to heal up, but now Ricky is back and ready to go against Lance Archer. And I think maybe, just maybe, they set it up to where now Ricky Starks is considered the underdog. Not that Ricky Starks needed a little help being considered the underdog against a super heavyweight in the Murder Hawk Monster. But I think that, well, in my opinion, I think Ricky Starks is going to win against Lance Archer. I don't think there's any doubt in that case that Ricky Starks is going to be against Brian Cage. I just wish to a degree it was a little bit more build to it, considering the history that Ricky and Brian Cage have from their days in Team Taz. Because this is actually the first meeting that these two men will have since their feud, a year and a half ago? 2 years ago almost? It feels like. When did they feud for the FTW title? When did Brian Cage turn babyface? I feel like Brian Cage has been gone that long that I forget how long he's been gone. Also, Ortiz and Kingston will team up against Jun Akiyama and Konosuke Takashita. So that's going to be a dream match of sort for Kingston, who grew up idolizing Jun Akiyama. Again, I just wish maybe there was a little bit. I think that there should be some sort of promo package, some sort of hype video, because you figure that tag team match, if it is not Ricky Starks and Lance Archer, that the tag team match including Kingston and Ortiz against the Japanese talent, which I'm assuming are from Pro Wrestling Noah, if not definitely New Japan. But we'll see what. I'm not sure offhand because I don't know where Jun Akiyama is at this point. But you would hope that there is some sort of promo package ahead of the match to get the people who don't know those guys aware of who they are. Because I do know Jun Akiyama, and I know Jun Akiyama is a legend in pro wrestling at this point from his days in All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. But you also have a title defense set for tonight's edition of Rampage, and no, it is not for the All-Atlantic title, as Orange Cassidy is actually got the night off, or does actually have the night off from defending his title, which he has defended pretty much, 3 out of the last 4 weeks on Rampage? So that's good for Orange Cassidy, as Hook will defend the FTW World Championship, or the FTW Championship, against the Firm's Lee Moriarty. I don't know why I thought this match was taking place on the pay-per-view, but it is good to see Hook defending the title and back in action. I just don't know, much like I questioned some of Orange Cassidy's challengers, and, the thought that maybe they should put him in like a championship chase type match where they have to earn the right to challenge Hook and qualify. And, a championship chase match, for those who don't know, is basically a fatal four-way. Whoever gets eliminated is eliminated, and the other 3 people move on to a triple threat the following week, and then a singles match the following week, yada, 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 so on and so forth. And then eventually the winner either challenges for the championship if the champion is in the championship chase, or is the number one contender for the championship if the champion is not in the championship chase. But one way or the other, they earn the right to challenge the champion as opposed to having to challenge the champion just at a random time. Which seems to be the case in some cases. But either way, Hook will be in action, and I hope for Lee Moriarty's sake, he gets another capable opportunity to show what he can do. But I also hope for AEW's sake that they start giving people from the firm a bit of wins outside of Ethan Page, because the firm could be capable challengers for MJF as they do have unfinished business between the firm and MJF. And I have made it clear over the last week or so that I do believe that MJF will be the one that defeats Jon Moxley at Full Gear. So that bit of the predictions, even though the predictions are tomorrow, that bit of the predictions will not change. The other match set for tonight's edition of Rampage is Athena versus Madison Rayne. In my opinion, it is good to see Athena and Madison Rayne competing, because it's good to see other women that maybe not at the top of the standings, or the rankings rather, competing on television and not just competing on AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation. Just mixing things up and giving other members of the roster an opportunity to compete, because they have a big enough roster where they need to do that. But I just want to talk again about the World Title Eliminator Tournament for a second, as, in my opinion, I think I think all four men are capable to be number one contender for the World's Championship at a time, but I think either Ricky Starks or Ethan Page will win the World Title Eliminator Tournament. I do not see Brian Cage or Lance Archer getting the dues in this one. No offense to either one of them, I just don't see it happening for one reason or another. Partially because I don't see Lance Archer and MJF being a viable match, because Lance Archer competing against the world champion has been done. It was done with Mox. It was done with Hangman Page. It's been done and does not need to be done again. As far as Ricky Starks and Ethan Page, it would give the world champion new, fresh challengers. Brian Cage is technically a Ring of Honor star, so him challenging for the AEW title would help, because it would give a non-AEW star the spot, but at the same time, you're giving a non-AEW star a spot against the AEW World Champion. But again, for those who may not know, Winter is Coming is when the World Title Eliminator champion will challenge for the world title against either Mox or MJF. And I do believe, off the top of my head, that Winter is Coming takes place on December the 14th this year, which is the final special event for AEW in 2022, because everybody knows the significance that Winter is Coming holds on the AEW calendar. But also, if you don't know the change in format from the first news video, the World Title Eliminator Tournament is off of Full Gear. The final first round match takes place tonight, with the pre-show holding the matches between Brian Cage and the winner of Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks. And then the finals will take place at Dynamite next week on Wednesday. So it won't be long before we see who is the first new challenger for the world champion after Full Gear. But with all that being said, this has been my preview for AEW Dynamite tonight. If I had to guess, I would probably say, I think, knowing AEW, they could possibly open with Kingston and Ortiz against Akiyama and Takeshita, or Hook versus Lee Moriarty, because everybody loves Hook. But I still do believe the World Title Eliminator Tournament or the tag team match will be the main event. So tune into it. But to know that, tune into Rampage tonight, live Friday, live on TNT at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 Central, as this is the final edition of Rampage before Full Gear tomorrow night, which again, I will be posting predictions for AEW Full Gear tomorrow ahead of Full Gear alongside the news videos, whatever comes, because also the news usually slows down a bit over the weekend compared to what it is during the week. But either way, guys, this has been my preview for AEW Rampage. If you want to know let me know what you think is going to happen tonight on Rampage or your predictions for Full Gear down below in the comment section. If you don't want to leave a comment, you can also interact with the video by leaving a like or subscribing to the channel, because any and all interactions do help the video and are very much appreciated. But don't forget, the one suggestion I would make is ding-donging that notification bell next to the subscription box to get notifications anytime I post a new video, because you never know what I'm going to post, when I'm going to go live, or if I'm going to be streaming. So it is for your benefit to click that bell to get the notifications. But this is the end of the video, and I will see you again soon.